They say that in Burundi, women smile, even when the ground beneath their feet hums with ancient stories and an uneven fate. But anyone who has seen them in the morning mist over Lake Tanganyika knows something else. Their silence is deeper than the mountains, and their gaze holds more than a heart can bear. They say Burundi is just a small country lost in the heart of Africa. But one look at the map tells you the truth. It stands at the crossroads of ancient paths and human histories. The country is surrounded by Rwanda, Tanzania, and the Congo. Without a sea, yet with Lake Tanganyika so deep that its dark water feels like a portal to another world. Its area is only about 27,000 square kilometers. Its population around 12.5 million people. There are no skyscrapers here, but there are hills rolling all the way to the horizon, and towns where the noise of the market blends with the smell of charcoal and half-sung songs. Burundi doesn't rush to live. It exists in its own slow, slightly thoughtful rhythm, one that neither wars nor poverty nor the weight of history have managed to break. It is a country that does not shout about itself. It simply stands quietly and waits until you hear its voice. They say that women here always smile, but anyone who has seen them at dawn knows their smile is not lightheartedness, but strength born between mountains and hard work. Their facial features are soft, their cheekbones high, their dark skin shining in the sun like bronze polished by the hands of ancestors. Their movements are unhurried, fluid, yet every step carries the confidence of someone who is used to balancing heavy water containers on her head while holding a child by the hand. In the cities, women wear bright kitenge fabrics, their silhouettes moving as if in rhythm with the earth itself. In the villages, they are more modest, quieter, with hands that remember the weight of a hoe far better than the weight of jewelry. Yet they share something unmistakable, an unspoken dignity, so simple and so deep that even a foreigner feels it instantly. Before him stands a woman who has endured more than she can ever express. Their social role is a double burden. More than 80% of women work in agriculture, tending the land, feeding their families, fetching water, collecting firewood. They carry the country's economy on their backs, even though they often have no access to property or credit. In Parliament, they make up a little over a third, progress earned through years of struggle. But in the villages, people still say, "A woman is the home, a man is the world." And that phrase must be broken 1 centimeter at a time. The gender income gap is felt everywhere. A woman's average salary is lower by dozens of percent, and her level of education often depends not on her abilities, but on whether the family can afford to send even one child to school. And usually that child will be a boy. The contrast between natural beauty and the reality of life here is sharp as a blade. They smile while carrying heavy water. They sing while harvesting coffee cherries. They raise children while the nights echo only with wind and distant bird cries. And yet, it is their resilience that keeps Burundi alive. The country stands because of those who walk barefoot across its land, leaving footprints strong enough to hold entire generations. They say the architecture here is simple, but anyone who has ever stood among Burundi's hills and touched the walls of old huts knows. This simplicity is like a scar that remembers generations. Burundi is a country where stone speaks quietly. There are no grand palaces or Gothic spires, but there is another kind of beauty, warm, silent, born from soil and rain. Traditional roundhouses, the rondavels, have a circular shape, as if someone sculpted them from the earth and then covered them with a thick grass roof. Their walls are clay mixed with straw, and the doors are so low that when you enter, you instinctively bow. They say it's a gesture of respect toward the ancestors. In the cities, everything is different. In Bujumbura, concrete buildings from the Belgian colonial era stand with strict facades, square shapes, grayed by sun and rain. Some appear as if they listen to the sound of Lake Tanganyika, trying not to forget their own history. But next to them, new modern neighborhoods rise, shining with glass and fresh paint. The contrast is so sharp it feels as though the old buildings and the new ones speak different languages. And yet the soul of Burundi lives in the villages. There, a home is not just walls and a roof. It is the place where women grind maize, where the smell of firewood lingers, where children's bright voices echo in the evenings. The roads are narrow, and the houses stand close together, as if hiding from the rain, while the clay courtyards are smooth, polished by hands and years. Scattered among the hills rise Catholic churches built by missionaries in the 20th century. Their red brick walls resemble old European churches, but instead of organs, you hear African drums. And when the sun sets, reflecting in their windows, it seems as though the bricks start glowing from within, like a stone that remembers the breath of centuries. The architecture of Burundi is not about grandeur. It is about human warmth, about homes held together by care rather than concrete. It is genuine, slightly fragile, but deeply alive, just like the country itself. They say that nature in Burundi is quiet, but anyone who has ever stood on the top of a green hill and listened to the wind carrying the smell of fresh earth knows this quiet lives, breathes, whispers. The landscapes here feel painted with broad strokes. The country is hilly, covered with ridges that stretch one after another like sleeping giants beneath a thin blanket of grass. Morning fog slowly slips into the valleys, where rivers, almost invisible from afar, glimmer like silver threads. Water here is not just a resource, it is the rhythm of life itself. During the rainy season, the land becomes a mosaic of green fields, and in the dry months it turns copper-colored, cracked, yet still beautiful. Lake Tanganyika is a true monument of nature. Its dark, deep waters seem bottomless, and its waves move so slowly it feels as though they are thinking. Evening light touches the lake softly, like a wing brushing the surface. And night brings a strange sensation, as if the whole world quiets down, leaving only the distant lights of fishing boats wandering across the lake, like small stars that forgot to rise into the sky. Deeper inland are tropical forests, where trees grow so densely that sunlight pierces the leaves in golden spokes. You hear the cries of monkeys, the flutter of birds, the scent of damp bark. In such places, time seems to slow. You breathe deeper, step more carefully. Learn to listen to nature as if it were a living being. In the rural regions, fields of coffee and bananas create their own rhythm. Working women move between the rows as if they are part of the landscape itself. And the wind carries the scent of fresh coffee berries, then the smoke of evening fires. Burundi is a land of contrasts. Wind from the hills can be cool and sharp, while the air near the lake is warm and sticky. The sun sets quickly, leaving the sky painted in shades from gold to deep violet. In those moments, it feels as though nature speaks a language only the heart can understand. This is a land where every hill is a story, every cloud a traveler, and every sunrise a chance to begin again. They say life here is simple, but anyone who has walked through the morning streets of Bujumbura or stood in a village surrounded by the smell of fresh maize knows this simplicity is layered like soil after rain. In the cities, the day begins with the noise of the market. Women carry baskets on their heads, men load sacks of cassava, and everything is accompanied by voices, laughter, bargaining. The coffee here is strong and fragrant. People drink it slowly, savoring every drop. In small roadside cafes, people sit on low stools and talk about everyday things: the weather, the harvest, fuel prices. And even in this, there is something warm, almost familial. In Burundi, people do not rush. The streets move to their own rhythm. Children play football barefoot. Adults stop to talk in the middle of the road. Cars honk not out of anger, but simply to say, "I'm here." Even time itself seems to stretch, becoming softer. In the villages, the rhythm is different, quiet, steady work. Women wake up early, collect water, prepare breakfast, head to the fields. Children walk to school, sometimes for several kilometers. Men tend to livestock or repair tools. Here, everyone knows their role. The houses are modest, clay, round or rectangular, with roofs made of straw or iron sheets. Inside, the bare essentials: a few chairs, a simple mattress, a pot for cooking. But the atmosphere is always warm. Laughter, the smell of food, voices crossing at the doorway. The contrast between city and village is unmistakable. In Bujumbura, there are banks, shops, street kiosks, taxis, internet cafes. The youth is more modern, dressed in bright colors, listening to music from their phones, dancing in the evenings on the shores of Tanganyika. In the villages, life is slower, people more conservative, but more sincere. They greet you even if they don't know you. They are ready to help, show the way, share cassava or a banana. Because here, hospitality is not a rule, it is a way of life.
Social behavior in Burundi is a blend of restraint and openness. People do not let strangers into their hearts quickly, but once they do, it is forever. The words of an elder are considered wisdom, and respect for family is an unspoken law. In the evenings, people gather outside their homes, sit on low benches, look at the sky, and talk about life as if nothing in the world could matter more. Life here is simple, but this simplicity has a taste, like warm banana bread, like fresh coffee, like the wind touching your face at sunset. And perhaps that is where true happiness lies. They say Burundi isn't a tourist country, but anyone who has ever set foot on its soil knows there is beauty here that doesn't shout. It waits to be noticed. A journey through Burundi begins in Bujumbura, a city resting on the shore of Lake Tanganyika. In the morning, its light is soft, like warm milk poured across the horizon. People walk to work unhurriedly, while the shore is already filled with the smell of fresh fish and the wind coming off the water. Here you'll find beaches where, in the evening, the sun touches the water so gently it feels afraid to disturb the wave. But the true magic begins when you leave the capital. Climbing into the Kibera Mountains feels like stepping into another world. Dense tropical forests, paths disappearing into fog, and sounds that bring the landscape to life. The air smells of wet leaves, and the trees grow so close together, it seems they are guarding an ancient secret. And when a ray of sunlight breaks through the green canopy, everything looks like a scene from a film, where the light has a voice of its own. To the south lies Nyakaranda with its hot springs. The water rises from the depths of the earth, and when you touch it, it feels as though you are sensing the country's very heart. Warm, resilient, unshakable. Farther still is the famous Source of the Nile. A modest place without loud infrastructure, but filled with an atmosphere that makes you think. Here, among grass and stones, begins the river that crosses half a continent. Standing at this spring, you suddenly understand. Sometimes the great begins with something small, almost invisible. The hilltop villages are another story. The roads are narrow, sometimes stony, but every turn opens a new view. Huts tucked into green valleys, women returning with water, children laughing so loudly that their joy echoes across the fields like bells. In the evening, when the sun sets, the hills glow with golden reflections, as if the whole country becomes a painter's canvas for a moment. Burundi doesn't offer luxury resorts or polished boulevards. It offers something else: sincerity, authenticity, moments that leave a mark. Traveling here isn't about selfies, it's about sensations. About how your footsteps sound on the red earth, how the mist touches your skin when you descend into the valley, how the night wind carries memories you never had, yet somehow feel familiar. And when the evening light touches the roofs of small villages, you realize the beauty of Burundi lies in its silence, in the fact that it doesn't try to impress you. It simply exists. It breathes, and it lets you breathe with it. They say Burundi is a country easy to overlook, but anyone who has stayed here, even for a single day, knows it's impossible to forget. It doesn't shout or beg for attention.
It stands quietly among hills and mist, holding its gentle strength. And if you let it enter your heart even for a moment, you will understand everything without words. Because Burundi is not a place on a map. It is a feeling that stays with you forever.